Oh shit. What's good, nigga? Back with another video. I was really excited to make this one because I really want to talk about it. And a YouTuber I watch, who I'm about to react to now, just posted a video about it. We got a video from my nigga M Enterprises titled "The Hate on the Green Lantern Actor is Stupid," and the thumbnail is Aaron Pierre, because recently Aaron Pierre was just casted to play John Stewart Green Lantern. And I feel like before we get into the video, I feel like I should say my opinion on it first, because initially he wasn't my first pick. Like when it came down, because initially people were saying that it came down to him and Stephen James. And me personally, I feel like Stephen James was the actor I wanted to see, because personally I feel like he fit the role in my eyes. Because one, I didn't watch Rebel Ridge. I'm actually watching it now because I want to actually get to know Aaron Pierre's acting ability. But before then, I was like, okay, Stephen James. But since Aaron Pierre got, I was like, even though he's not my personal pick, I get it. Because from my point of view, I understood of him, like him being like, since Rebel Ridge was so popular, he became the main pick for a lot of people's John Stewart. It was like, oh, I want him to be John Stewart. Everybody's fan casting him. So I felt like everybody was pushing for him. So I feel like James Gunn gave people what most people wanted, was Aaron Pierre. But then right when it happened, a lot of people were coming out saying, oh, colorist, da-da-da, colorism, da-da-da-da. And one thing I would like to talk about is I don't like the discussion when it comes to a lot of non-black people speaking on this issue, when a lot of these motherfuckers are just trying to diminish or downplay the effects of colorism, which I feel like is kind of stupid to me, or I feel like it's kind of diminishing the actual conversation, and it's not, y'all aren't being nuanced. Cause I feel like while we also can say Aaron Pierre is a phenomenal actor, we can also say colorism does play a part in some casting rooms. Not to say it played a part in this one, cause I feel like, cause I'm watching Rebel Ridge right now, and I feel like Rebel Ridge, like in him in that movie, he's really good. Like if you watch it, y'all already know he's really good, and I feel like he does give that John Stewart energy. Even though, while I do understand that a lot of people were wanting that comic book accurate look for John Stewart, because he's widely known as a dark skinned man. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I get why people are mad, and don't get me wrong, I was quote tweeting, I was reposting a lot of people's opinions on it, because I really was like wanting more like a conversation about the topic rather than just people just saying, oh, I like it, oh, I hate it, like whitewash or colorist and like I just wanted people to actually just talk about the topic instead of just arguing, because it's like I feel like we need to have a nuanced conversation about colorism in Hollywood instead of just acting as if it doesn't exist to this day. But me personally, I'm fine with it. It's not the end of the world for me. Like, this ain't gonna make me not watch Lanterns. I'm still gonna watch Lanterns. I feel like people are trying to make it seem like we're gonna boycott this movie. And motherfucker, I'm not boycotting shit. At the end of the day, nigga John Stewart, man, I'm gonna watch it because this motherfucking nigga is a John Stewart. And he's a good actor. So I feel like he's gonna play the role well regardless. So me personally, I don't really have that big of an issue with it. But a lot of people did. And I feel like those opinions are valid though. That's my point. My point is that a lot of people aren't validating people's opinions on it. A lot of people are just trying to downplay it and act. It's like, oh, colorism doesn't exist. Y'all keep saying it's colorist. Like, you can have an opinion on it, and that someone's opinion can differ from yours, and they can still be valid in that opinion because it's a genuine grievance throughout history. Like, colorism has played a part in dark-skinned actors being underrepresented. So, I mean, like, what are we talking about? Like, it's an actual thing that's happened in Hollywood. Like, so I don't understand people are trying to like downplay it though. That's what I don't like. But overall, not the end of the world for me. But we'll see what Enterprise have to say. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
The actors taking on the roles of Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart were announced for the upcoming live-action Lanterns TV series on Max, which is set to take place in James Gunn's DCU. The vision for the series is sort of inspired by True Detective, where it'll feature Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart trying to solve an Earth-based mystery that will tie into the overarching narrative of the DCU.
Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series
was excited
called
when this junk dropped.
Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered.
And one thing I really loved about this approach was that they didn't want to sacrifice just using one. 'Cause I feel like using one is just not like, you're not utilizing the Green Lantern Corps if you're only using one. I feel like we shouldn't like, especially with these two being the most popular Green Lanterns for a lot of people, use both. Why not? So yeah, I like this idea, like the lethal weapon, but space cops.
In there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU.
Kyle Chandler has signed on to play Hal Jordan, and Aaron Pierre will play Jon Stewart. I'd say the overall reception to the casting news has been mostly positive. There have been concerns here and there on Hal Jordan's age. The synopsis states how it'll center on the new recruit Jon Stewart and the Lantern legend Hal Jordan. So this Hal is a seasoned veteran showing Jon the ropes, serving as sort of a mentor figure perhaps. When it comes to Aaron Pierre being booked to play Jon Stewart, however, there has been a small minority of people on the internet who take issue with this casting, stating it's representative of an overall problem in Hollywood. You guessed it, it's the chronic Twitter niggas saying a bunch of nonsense, the natural habitat of them.
See, and that's what I don't like, bro. I don't like that. I don't like that standpoint. Cause why is it have to be Twitter niggas? Like, why is it that standpoint? That's what I don't like. Why is it color? Why is it my thing is, because this is my whole point about this whole situation. Like, another point that I wanted to mention. I feel like the same energy that people made about Dr. Doom not being Romani in the MCU, they're not giving that same energy to this. And I feel like if y'all are to be completely transparent and wanting comic book accuracy, y'all would be the main ones fighting for this. But a lot of people that were mad about the Doom thing are not treating the same way as this. While you might not agree that it's not colorism, whatever, it probably was at the end of the day. I don't feel like it is either, because I feel like James Gunn just picked him off for his acting ability, which he is a good actor. But at the same time, that same energy y'all had for Doom not being Romani, y'all not having that same energy. So it's like y'all main point was comic book accuracy, but then when it came to this, y'all just like you don't have to fully agree. It's just the fact that y'all don't acknowledge it. That's the thing. It's like acknowledging it is more of my problem, because I feel like it's just y'all are just downplaying it. But the chronic Twitter thing, like, that's, to me, that's stupid. Honestly, I don't know. Me personally, I feel like that's just that's a weak generalization of people that actually have opinions about representation and seeing themselves represented through, you know, a dark-skinned actor. So whatever, we'll see what I have to say though.
Mentally ill. Their complaints primarily stem from the fact that Aaron Pierre is quote-unquote too light-skinned to play Jon Stewart, and that they should have gone for a dark-skinned actor, saying that Aaron Pierre is part of the problem of colorism seen in modern-day Hollywood. This is a very moronic argument people are trying to make in criticizing the Jon Stewart casting. Colorism is a problem in the entertainment industry and has been for a while, but this casting news in particular is nowhere near representative of that issue. Let's take a quick look at the definition of colorism: prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group. The reason why this has no correlation to who they chose to play Jon Stewart is because y'all are acting like they picked Aaron Pierre over another actor because he was light skinned, which clearly isn't the case. People forget there were multiple actors who auditioned and were in.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's where I feel like the point of colorism doesn't really work that much with this topic. But I do still feel like it is an issue that we should still talk about in general. In general, we should talk about it. But I also feel like in this certain instance, I feel like it did come down to their chemistry with Kyle Chandler. Because Kyle Chandler was the main person they wanted for Hal Jordan, and they were trying to see who had the best chemistry with that actor. And I feel like Aaron Pierre just naturally had better chemistry with Kyle Chandler. So that's why people were, you know, saying that. But yeah, I do agree with what he's saying though. To that point, I do agree, because like, it was down to them two, and they were two different complexions. So yeah, I do agree with that.
The running for the role of Jon Stewart. The two frontrunners included both Aaron Pierre and Stephen James, who obviously has a darker complexion when compared to Aaron Pierre. By some of y'all's logic, Stephen James wouldn't have even made it this far into the casting process to the point where he almost got the role. Aaron Pierre didn't get the role because of his skin tone. They picked him because of his screen tests. That's how casting works. Your argument could have some validity to it if it was revealed that they chose one actor over another because of their lighter skin color, or if they were only looking for light-skinned male actors, but that's clearly not what happened here. They had two actors screen test for the role, and Aaron Pierre either did a better job or was more in line for what the casting directors were looking for in terms of performance. Maybe he had better on-screen chemistry with Kyle Chandler's Hal Jordan. Get this colorism nonsense out of here, dog. Some of these people also have the belief that James Gunn is just hiring people who were seen in a bunch of popular fan casts on Twitter, because beforehand, Aaron Pierre had been some people's ideal fan cast to play Jon Stewart in the DCU. David Cornsweet as Superman was also a fan casting people had been wanting to see for a while. But if you genuinely believe James Gunn and the people at DC Studios went on Twitter and used that as justification to hire some of these actors, then you are not the brightest person in the room. You got a few screws loose. Definitely not the brightest crayon in the box. These people completely neglect the fact that there were multiple actors in the running for both Jon Stewart and Superman. Nicholas Hoult auditioned for Superman but ended up getting Lex Luthor, for example. Tom Brittney was also in the running for Superman. And like I said earlier, there were actors other than Aaron Pierre trying to play Jon Stewart. It's not like James Gunn went, yeah, Twitter said David Cornsweet, so let's go with him. They all had screen tests, and whoever delivered what the people in charge were looking for the best, they got the part. It's not rocket science. On top of that, the only characters that even relate to supposed Twitter fan casts are Superman and Jon Stewart. You don't see any prominent fan casts come to fruition with any other character that's been cast in the DCU. You think they only looked online when they chose Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Isabella Merced as Hawk Girl, Skylar Gisondo as Jimmy Olsen, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, Eddie Gathege as Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, the Kents, the Daily Planet cast, Supergirl. Do you see why this logic is flawed? It's so funny seeing people get mad over nothing, or picking and choosing when to get mad at something despite it being very similar to something they have no issues with. I didn't see a single goddamn complaint when Ray Fisher was cast as Cyborg in the DCEU. I didn't see anyone moan or complain about how the role should have gone to another actor. Saying light-skinned actors always get roles of typically non-light-skinned comic book characters is completely nonsensical because there are so many casting choices that disprove this. If that were the case, then decisions like Wesley Snipes as Blade wouldn't exist, Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, Letitia Wright as Shuri, Tiana Paris as Monica Rambeau, Don Cheadle as War Machine, Yahya Abdul-Mateen as Black Manta, Idris Elba as Bloodsport, who was a leading role in the Suicide Squad. If James Gunn is part of the problem in colorism, then why did he cast him in that role? What about Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams Ironheart, Anthony Mackie as the new Captain America, Mike Coulter as Luke Cage, Cress Williams as Black Lightning on the CW? Hell, even for the heroes that aren't typically depicted as black in the comics, like Nick Fury, Hawkman, Jim Gordon from the Batman movie, all played by non-light-skinned black actors. But nah, it's only the light-skinned niggas who get these roles, right? Get the hell out of here with that bull.
You niggas is just retarded.
I've heard nothing but good things about Aaron Pierre's ability as an actor, and I'm sure he'll do a phenomenal job as Jon Stewart. Don't let some buffoons tell you otherwise. If you prefer that Jon Stewart be played by an actor with a darker complexion, then that's fine, and you are not in the wrong for thinking that. It's just incredibly disingenuous to say, oh my god, colorism, if an actor gets a role, which in doing so is disregarding Aaron Pierre's ability as an actor and trying to bring him down. Don't even try to come at me saying I'm on some coon behavior.
No, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people were using this as a way to shit on Aaron Pierre, and that's what I didn't like either. Because I felt like, because in a way I was conflicted, because I do see why people wanted a dark-skinned actor, but I feel like some people are using this as a way to downplay Aaron Pierre's acting and how he got the role. Because I feel like he did get the role off his acting. Like, I really do feel like he did get the role off his acting and his chemistry with Kyle Chandler. But also, I do agree that colorism is still an issue that happens. Probably not to the greatest extent, like, in terms of comic book movies, but it still happens. It still happens, but it happens in other areas, I do feel like. Not as much in the superhero aspect, but I still feel like it is a relevant issue and it's something we should still talk about and be educated on and have educated discussions on it. So I do feel like it's pros and cons to both situations. But I do agree. I don't feel like this is colorist casting, to be honest. While I do feel like colorism and colorists like talking about it and like we should talk more about stuff like this in Hollywood and call it out when we see it. I don't feel like entirely this was a colorist thing. I do feel like James Gunn did pick him off the chemistry off the acting ability and the chemistry that he had the screen test. But yeah, like he said, if you preferred a dark skinned actor, you're valid in that. That's why I'm saying most people that were critiquing it just preferred a dark skinned actor because they wanted to see that character represented. But just because you wanted that, don't mean you have to shit on Aaron Pierre and be like, man, this nigga can't act or nothing. Because I don't feel like, to me, from what I saw personally, I don't know what other people saw, but from what I saw, most people weren't shitting on his acting. Most people just wanted a dark skinned actor, just preferred that, and feel like that should have been the case. But I don't feel like a lot of people were, from my point of view, were talking about he couldn't act. From my point, I didn't see that. But
or anti-black for speaking the truth. Brody, you don't know me. You don't know about my West African family.
You don't know me, bro. You don't know where I'm from, bro. You don't know me, bro.
It's more than likely Jon Stewart will be the primary Green Lantern after Lanterns.
And that's what I'm excited
a member
about.
of the Justice League, so whether you like it or not, he's here to stay. Crying about it has absolutely no impact on casting decisions or who gets to play what character. You are a chronically online individual who needs to seek professional help. Get over yourself and move on.
Type shit.
My bad. I didn't mean to dislike it, but whatever. Yeah, I like the video. I do feel like I do still feel like people's critiques are still valid though, because they just had opinions on it. I feel like we should encourage more dialogue in the topic rather than people just automatically just hating on it just to hate on it. Because I don't feel like a lot of people were hating on it. A lot of people just weren't. Because from like literally my tweet said, I literally said not my personal choice, but I get it. I get why he got it. Because I literally saw the clip that went viral from Rebel Ridge where he was just like, I was like, okay, I see it. I see it a little bit. But now I'm actually watching Rebel Ridge now. I was just watching it earlier until this video popped up. I want to react to it. But I was just watching Rebel Ridge earlier and I see like in the movie, like, yeah, I get why he got it. I get why he got it. I see why he got it. It's not a big surprising thing that he got it from that role. But I just feel like we should, instead of just diminishing like the fact that colorism still plays in Hollywood, I don't feel like this was necessarily a colorist casting like entirely. I don't feel like, no. I just don't feel like I don't think they were even thinking about even casting dark-skinned actors as the main thing. I don't think that was even in James Gunn's head to be like, okay, I'm casting a dark-skinned actor. I think he was just thinking, I'm casting a black actor. I don't really care about, like, I'm not really factoring in skin complexion. I feel like that was really what it was. Me personally. But at the end of the day, this is not gonna get me to not watch the Lantern show. Like I feel like people are trying to boycott it and saying like, oh, I'm not gonna watch the show. Like, nigga, are you serious, bro? You're not gonna watch the show though? Like, come on now. Like now y'all niggas are doing too much. Cause that's overkill. Like, I feel like and half these motherfuckers gonna end up watching the show anyway. That's what I even said on Twitter too. Cause I was just like, I don't feel like people should then boycott the show. Like that's overkill. That's overkill. But yeah, I do feel like people's opinions about it were valid about preferring and wanting a dark-skinned actor, but to sit there and say he can't act or saying that it's entirely colorist, it's just not. That's not the issue I have with it. Or that's not what I agree with, me personally. But yeah, let me know how y'all feel in the comments. I want to talk more about DC content, so please like this video up. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how y'all feel about this video in the comments. And yeah, I really love talking about this, and I'm excited about James Gunn DCU. Don't get me wrong. I'm like this. Me preferring an actor over Aaron Pierre don't really mean that I'm not gonna watch the show. I'm still gonna watch this bitch. Like I'm supporting DCU till the wheels fall off, bro. I don't like that's how hard I'm riding for DC because I'm a big DC fan. Like regardless. So my point is like people yeah, some people are doing a little too much. Like boycotting it is doing too much. But people just having an opinion and saying, oh, they prefer a dark-skinned actor, that's fine. Like that's fine. But yeah, if you like this reaction, like, comment, subscribe, like I said that already. But yeah, until then, hey, get another water. See y'all niggas.